What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Show back with another video, and today, man, we talking about Dishonored. We're talking about Dishonored 3. I ain't gonna lie, man, I got kind of a track record. Normally when I do games like this and I ask if there will be a sequel, normally a sequel gets announced. I think Dragon Quest 11, I did Xenoblade, I did Disgaea, even though we didn't know Disgaea 6 was gonna turn out to be what it was. But man, I want to jump back on Dishonored. Now, let's actually get some background information before I start hopping into how I got to play it and how I love it, and it's a great game, and why we need a third one. Alright, so first let's start with a plot synopsis. Experience the path to vengeance as Corvo Atano, legendary bodyguard to the Empress, and who is framed for her murder and the kidnapping of her daughter. Forced to become an assassin to seek revenge, he is aided by a band of loyalists who provide him with powerful weapons and unique gadgets. Now, I want to preface this by saying, for one, I didn't really know what I was getting into when I got into this game. It's a 2012 action adventure game developed by Arkane Studios and published by Bethesda. Alright, Dishonored for me, before I start talking about Dishonored 3, I want to talk about what the series kind of means to me. Now, during my infinite times of boredom, I like to go and try games that I never played before. Games that I never really gave a chance to, or just, honestly, man, when you're bored, you just play anything sometimes. Due to my infinite boredom, I had actually had Dishonored 1 on my PlayStation account for like a long time. I never really opened it up. I honestly never really even wanted to see what it was about. I mean, I didn't really care, because for me, generally, as games I like to play, I don't like stealth games. I mean, I played Assassin's Creed and stuff like that. I hate stealth missions where if you get caught, you basically have to reset the whole mission. I've dealt with a couple of those games. I've hated that vibe. I love games you can do a little bit of both. Sometimes like the newer Hitman games, where you don't specifically have to do a mission a certain way. So I like being able to do stealth, and if I just want to fight, I just want to fight. So this is around the time I got my Xbox. I bought an Xbox Series S, because it's like, at that point when you got a system like that, why not just get Game Pass? Just get Game Pass and move on. So I got Game Pass, and I said to myself, I'm gonna see what games are up here, what games I want to play. I seen like a lot of old Xbox 360 Mass Effects, and I was just coming off of a great game known as the Mass Effect Collection, but I saw this Dishonored. I saw the Dishonored game, and I was like, I have this one on PlayStation. I've never really gotten to it. I have Dishonored 1 on PlayStation. I've never really been interested in it. But what made me interested, they had all the Dishonored games. So for me, I was like, if it's a series I can get into, I can play more than one game. I can continue the series for free. Well, not really for free, but you know how Game Pass works. So man, I downloaded, I booted up, and it's the iconic scene, obviously, from the beginning of the game, where you basically see the queen get murdered. Not a spoiler, by the way. This happens at the very beginning of the game. You see the queen get murdered, and you are the bodyguard. The daughter gets kidnapped. And long story short, you get in prison and break out and all this such. Now, I'm not going to say the story really blew me away. I'm not going to really say that I was moved by the emotional elements in the story. It was cool. It was cool enough for me to continue playing. I started continuing playing. But let me tell you, let me just skip past down this little road right here. When I got access to the powers for the first time, that's when I knew this game would really click. Because for me, most of the time when I look at game, like when I'm on Game Pass or something like this, like nowadays, I'll look up a game, see if it looks interesting, I might play it if it looks interesting. This is the first time I decided to not really look into anything going in. So for me, it looked like a regular stealth game, which is what I hated, which is the reason why I didn't play it on PlayStation in the first place. That's the main reason. I think it was another game called Thief. It's the only reason I didn't try that game out either. But man, I tried to play this one, and when I got the powers, I was thrown away. I was hooked. You get the little teleport power, and I think it's called Blink. I literally couldn't put it down, man. I didn't even have a lot of powers, but I know I wanted to get stronger and collect more powers to deal with more enemies. I like games where you can put me in a sandbox. Give me great gameplay. Give me a way to both stealth my enemies or just full on fight my enemies. And I'm gonna love that game. It could be regardless of what the game story is about. I'm just gonna love that game strictly off gameplay. So I'm playing this game, man, and one thing I'm starting to realize is that they have a morality system in this game. Now, depending on the game or the franchise, morality systems can be kind of annoying at times. Like, if you want to play a certain way for a little bit but don't want to fully align yourself to a certain side, whether you're gonna be evil or good, it can be kind of annoying. But if you're playing it with a clear clear choices and you know what you're gonna do, games like that can actually come out to be very, very good. And for me, I love the morality system in Mass Effect because it also changed the way people saw you. You know, if people saw you and you were doing like a lot of evil stuff and killing people, it would basically be like you're a murderer. Like, people got to see you killing people, or because you had multiple ways to play. Like I said, it wasn't just, hey, go do this, go stealth behind this building. I mean, they had their own points like that, but most of the time you can choose how you want to interact with situations. You can just knock people out, honestly, and you know, go about your business and keep your body count down, or you can just full on kill them, because killing them was kind of like the easiest thing to do. It's not like that keeping them alive was like a super hard choice, but if you wanted to go into a game and you turn the difficulty all the way up and you wanted just to, you know, kill them just to make it a little bit easier on yourself, you could do that in this game. That was fire to me. Now, obviously, the game has twists and stuff and turns, and there's a lot of things that, you know, I don't really want to spoil in this video, because to be honest, while we are talking about a Dishonored 3 at the end of this video, I do want you guys, if you haven't played it, to go play the other ones. They're really, really good. 1 and 2 are really, really good. I haven't played the add-on DLC for, I have actually played that one. I haven't finished it yet. Game Pass right now. But they are fantastic games. So we'll move on to game number 2. And considering that a lot of the spoilers in 1 is like heavily influenced by the beginning of 2, I'm gonna try to keep it a little vague on what I can say, because like I said, I do really want you guys to experience these games. They are fantastic. They're short, sweet, to the point, and the gameplay is amazing. Alright, man, so Dishonored 2 was arguably the better game. Like, I love this Dishonored 1. I love the twists and turns. I loved all the mystery behind it. I love how it's basically like one big mystery, you know, with the, I don't want to spoil it, but basically a lot of the mystery goes into like the third add-on part. So I'm gonna try my best to keep this objective and not spoiler like, but yeah, basically in part 2 you get to choose between the previous main character, or you get to choose between a new or female character. And for when I first played through, I chose the female character, only honestly because she had like different abilities. She also had like a different take on the abilities that the main male character had. I thought that was interesting. I thought gameplay with her was honestly more fun than it was with Corvo. All around, I thought the story was great. I liked her abilities. I liked her powers. It gave you a little bit of replayability, because you can basically go through the story with Corvo and stay in, and it'll be a whole different story. I mean, at least in terms of like how you fight. But that game was great. But I want to talk about where is Dishonored 3 and what I could see for Dishonored 3. Well, for one, I would love to see the Dishonored games maybe ported over to Switch. I think they could really work on Switch. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know if it would be feasible, but I really love those games. As for Arkane Studios, they do stuff like Deathloop and Prey. Deathloop being like their most recent game. I haven't got a chance to play that one. I heard it was kind of like this one, but kind of vastly different. And they're also doing Redfall, which should come sometime in 2023. Since Dishonored was based off the Unreal Engine 3, I could definitely see them moving up an engine if they haven't already with Dishonored 2. I don't know if it'll actually follow the same set of people, mainly because I feel like maybe that story is kind of done and over with, and we could possibly see it, but it wouldn't be nice to kind of see it in a different location. Not saying that the city of Dunwall was bad. It was great, actually. It was fun. It was interesting. It's just that, you know, simply with newer things, we can move on to newer locales. I would actually want the gameplay to stay intact. I would definitely want the gameplay to stay intact. I think that was like the main highlight point of the game. The story was good. It was good enough to keep me entertained while I'm doing gameplay stuff, for sure. And like I said, it wasn't nothing to write home about, but it was fantastic in terms of keeping me engaged. Simple enough I can follow, mysterious enough where I can actually want to figure out some mysteries. It also helped that I was actually watching Monster for the first time, you know, kind of in the background while playing this game. I think Dishonored 3 can do numbers. I think eventually it will come back. It's too much of a good series to kind of be done with it. The gameplay is phenomenal. Like, I'm so interested to see what they can do with next gen hardware. I mean, the game could be just smoother all around. Hopefully we can get a Switch port sometime soon. Like, I want every game to have a Switch port, but I think Dishonored could do it pretty well. I mean, obviously the graphics will be a little bit muddled, but I think they can do a really good job with it. They've put stuff like BioShock up there. I could see them doing Dishonored. I could see them porting over Dishonored. I think it would have to be on the announcement of Dishonored 3 though. I don't think they would just normally do it. But other than locales and faster loading, and I'm really okay with what they decide to do with the Dishonored 3, because it's like they're really good at what they do. Hopefully they don't end up messing it up or change of the old guard and everybody who worked on the original games and no longer there anymore, and they can't really finish the project. I'm hoping that it's not that case. I'm hoping that it ends up being a great game. It is a fantastic series. I really wanted to continue. Let me know down in the comments below what you feel like Dishonored 3 could have. Like, what do you think? What do you want from Dishonored 3? Do you even want a Dishonored 3? And let me know how much you really love this game down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next.